React2Shell represents one of the most significant shifts in web exploitation in recent years, not because it abuses memory corruption, but because it weaponizes UI logic, turning modern frameworks into direct vectors for back-end compromise. Now, I'm not going to pretend that I know what the fuck that means, but it doesn't sound good. I work with hackers and people in cybersecurity, and this is the stuff that they deal with on a day-to-day basis. My job is not to fix that problem. My job is to manage the people that are fixing those problems. In a recent check-in from one of the cyber athletes, they mention, I'm sure you've heard other cyber folks complain about the React2Shell freakout this week, but that derailed my eating later on this week, and I had to cram in a bunch of food at the end of my day to try to hit my marks. One small implication to cyber threats and cyber attacks on one person, but it goes a little bit deeper than that. If I look back to his daily tracker, I can track exactly when this became a problem for him. If I look at sleep data, sleep was out the window. The sleep quality went from 85, 84, 87% to 53%, from getting 7 hours to getting 5.5 hours, from a regular 11 p.m, which is probably a little bit too late, bedtime, to 1 a.m, 3 a.m, 6 a.m, 3 a.m. And then looking beyond that at biometrics, the resting heart rate raised from 53 beats per minute to 60, 61, and 64. Heart rate variability dropped from 59, 58 to the low 40s, showing a huge shift in stress on his body. The cool thing about this for me is actually being able to see the data. The problem for you is if you don't track the data, you don't know this is actually happening. Yes, it seems stressful. It's a shit show. Sleep might be off, stress might be off, but you don't actually know the genuine implication that this has. Now, I will give this cyber athlete credit. He still managed to get everything done. He got all of his food in, he got all of his steps in, he got all of his cardio in, and he got all of his sessions in. So while there was a huge impact on his stress and his sleep, he didn't use it as an excuse. Again, the problem that you might face is you don't have these things in place. You don't have the worst day protocols in place, and everything else just goes out the window because you're trying to fix the problem at hand. The reason that I find this example so interesting is, although I have heard about things like this in the past and I've had conversations and clients look at this retrospectively, this time around, waking up to the information and seeing the chatter in Discord and sort of getting an idea as to what's going on. In this instance, I've almost been able to track it live. So seeing it in one case and then looking at how that has impacted other cyber athletes. And to me, this proves the business that I have built, We Hack Health, the movement, is something that is needed, because the implication on the humans on the receiving end of these threats and these exploits, it's having a huge impact on them. We can see it because we have the data. The problem lies in the people who don't have the data and they just white knuckle their way through it. So in a world where AI's presence is ever increasing, the rate that it is improving and the rate that it is growing and expanding only solidifies the need for the people on the other end to look after and manage their health. As the threat level goes up, the frequency increases, the problems are going to be exacerbated, not only for the companies, but for the humans on the other side. So if you work in cyber, if you have fallen victim to having to unfuck these problems, just join the Discord, be a part of the conversation. The Discord's there for conversation. It's literally a community of people who work in cybersecurity. We have CISOs, business owners, incident response teams, threat hunters, red team, blue team. Everybody's there. Join the conversation. Discord.gg/WeHackHealth. And you know what? If you're fucked off with all this bullshit and you actually just want me to help you improve the quality of your life, your ability to show up as a person, your ability to manage the stress, check out WeHackHealth.com.